There is a lot to do with this machine. There's a lot. I made a list. And that's probably not even all of it. So this isn't something off the shelf. This is something someone made from scratch. And yes, there are quite a few things that could be better. The fact that it works is actually pretty awesome. But fixing those problems is what makes this fun. If you saw the last video, I was able to get it to cut this star out of this piece of metal. And hey, that's cool. I also had it cut out a cool little wall art for a colleague as a gift. I made a short about that, and the short made it look like this. But that's not how it went. You see, with editing magic, I was able to take away the parts that weren't going that smoothly.
That is one big pile.
So it starts, does a cut, moves to the next place, and then fails. So I have to resume the G code from the line in which it failed, and then, yeah, okay, then it took off again and it did the cut. Why? I have an idea. So I went back and I took a look at that complicated cut. And one of the things I noticed is when it was done cutting something, the torch would raise and then post flow would run for 10 seconds. And if it tried to position itself to perform another cut while the post flow was still running, the arc wouldn't light. So I see two reasons for this. It's either there's a safety lockout, which means if it's in post flow, it's going to refuse starting an arc because it's still cooling down. Possibility number two, the distance of the torch head to the material is too far to start the arc because I misconfigured it. According to the configuration here, pierce height and then cut height are the ones that define how far the torch head is from the material. Pierce height is where the arc starts, I think. Cut height is where the torch will settle to do the actual cut. And so it's possible that 0.25 is too high or too far away from the material, but it might not be. And that could quite possibly be the reason why the torch just is finicky on starting. Here's what I did about that. I created 2 test cut files that will cut out 3 circles, 1 inch in diameter, in sequence. The other file is the same file, but with an additional command between each circle operation, which is G04, that tells the CNC to stop for 10 seconds before moving on to the next operation. 10 seconds happens to be the same amount of time that the post flow runs for. So I'm going to try to do an actual cut first with the one without the dwell, and then see how that works. If that just runs, well, I guess the mystery deepens, doesn't it? But if it does the same thing as that complex cut did, then I'm going to go on to the one that has the dwell command. That'll probably work. And this isn't necessarily what's wrong with anything, but this, well, it's an experiment. So let's see what happens.
NANI?!
Okay, so I needed to tweak some stuff because apparently even running it like this, it didn't like something. And that thing that it didn't like was this. So before I had a little leg here that would end the cut. So it's like an inside start, an inside end, but the piece was already cut out by then. So I think it lost the arc because it just lost the material that it was cutting. Now we're stuck here. This is what happened with the other thing the last time. The next cut would fail to start because the post flow is still running. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to load in the one with the dwell operation and see if, I mean, I'm guessing it will probably work, but it'll stop the cut before moving on to the next circle and let post flow complete its thing. So let's give that a shot. I guess that was it. I just needed a little bit of a delay before starting the next cut, and it did the whole thing. I'm gonna call that good. It's, I think, done. So I'm thinking it diverges from here. This thing is done, so I'm gonna start making things with it for the purpose of selling on Etsy, I guess. And the other avenue is to upgrade this thing piece by piece. I'm not gonna do it all at once. It works, so why would I do a whole bunch of stuff when I can just use it pretty much as is? Yeah, there's a lot to do, and I can do that incrementally. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Well, if any of that interests you and you think that, hey, that's a good idea, crazy guy with a plasma cutter in his garage, then like and subscribe. And if there's something that you want to suggest, ideas that you may have, leave a little comment down there. All right.